Hello, everyone. This is Tom, the Lone Wolf Prepper. It is October 18th, 2024. I want to do a video today about people starting a diary. I hope everybody realizes that we are living in historic times. Okay, and that, there's going to be a time in your life, if you get on the other end of this, that you'll be telling stories to your children and your grandchildren. You'll be the grandfather or the grandmother, and they'll be all sitting in front of you telling stories. Now, wouldn't it be great if you could just whip out a tablet in your diary and start reading history to them? I mean, I'm downloading all my videos that I got onto a hard drive, if computers and electronics even matter when it comes to after all this. But yeah, in the future, your younger people and generations in your family are going to be asking you, how did all this get so crazy? How was all this allowed to happen? When did people start losing their minds? We ran out of toilet paper that Saturday. But anyway, you have your diary. You can go back and you can read it, okay, and to them. Your own words, what you wrote years ago, which will be a lot more than you telling a story to them, telling a story years later. I mean, I've watched a lot of World War II documentaries, but I started listening to on YouTube diaries of Germans and Americans and Japanese soldiers and stuff during the war. And I tell you what, there's a lot more in those diaries than they'll ever expose on these World War II documentaries. Like German soldiers being given meth. I can't remember the term they used for it. It's like, they had a term for it. But they came and they distributed through the men, telling them not to OD on it and stuff. And, they were going on a forced march or something. But yeah, I never saw that in none of my history documentaries. And then a lot about World War II, and then even where the divisions were at. I mean, when you really know a lot about World War II, and then I watched these on documentaries, but then I listened to the words of the people that were in those divisions, in those units. It's a big difference. Okay? So I guess when it comes to when your kids are grandkids and your kids are asking you questions one day, how'd this all happen? They're not going to be watching a documentary. It's very important. But let's say this all goes south. History is written by the conquerors. The last thing we want in history is that our founding fathers were slave-owning bigots, but they were black. I mean, it's crazy how they could rewrite this. I mean, look at them tearing down our statues, trying to destroy American culture and American history because they don't agree with it. Well, I'd like to know one person who belongs to a country that agrees with everything their country did in the past. Hell no. Okay, and then Kamala Harris wants to talk about reparations. See, this is stuff that needs to go in the diary. We have somebody running for president that's lying about her race, that can't answer the question, are you better off than you were 4 years ago? A communist. And she wants to, just all the silly stuff they want to do. I mean, they'll sugarcoat everything. After the Civil War, people knew the Civil War was fought about states' rights. And then years and years later, everything gets changed. So, like I was taught, it was fought about slavery. When that didn't come into the picture, till August or November of 1863, over 2 years after the war had started. That's like saying, I mean, nothing to put down that slavery was bad, but that's like saying World War II was fought over the Jews. That was just a part of it. But anyway, you need a written record. We can't let these people rewrite history. There's no way. Now, I believe we're going to be successful in taking our country back. They need 90 million votes to win. They know they ain't got them. Even with all the illegals they could have voting, they ain't got them. All right. So, and then with this order, DOD directive, Department of Defense 5240.01, authorizing active duty military to use lethal force on civilians when the officials feel it's necessary. Like I say, where does that end? They don't say the limit of the weapons. It's a crazy time. I mean, all this stuff needs to be written down. So one day the truth can come out. And then they can have their documentaries, but you'll have your diary that your family can read and pick that out. You know, the voice of the common man. Like, you want to know about the revolutionaries and the patriots, you know, of the Revolutionary War and those, read their words. The soldiers that were in the Continental Army, to the officers, to the founding fathers of this country. Mm-hmm. I tell you what's going on now, they didn't say nothing about none of that. Democracy. I'm so sick of hearing democracy. We are a constitutional republic. And until we get our constitutional republic back, instead of turning into a democracy, our country isn't going to turn around. I hate that. You know, I'm glad majority rules. Okay? Do we really want that type of democracy if the Democrats get in, or the Republicans? See, it doesn't matter. Both sides will use it for crooked stuff. That's why we got a constitution. A constitutional republic. Okay? The rules in the Constitution pertaining to the government, you know, how they're supposed to do stuff, whatever. It's all written down. But in a democracy, the Constitution doesn't matter. Because as long as you got 50% of the people, that delegates or the Congress that will disagree with the Constitution and pass a law, well, that's good to go in a democracy. You know, just like Obamacare is a tax, right? What? It's not a tax. It's not a tax. Oh, Judge Roberts, it's a tax, huh? Must have been that little bit of that Lolito Express you were on. I mean, all this stuff. Just get a couple tablets and start writing stuff down. Probably write a book. Your memoirs. Your memoirs of either the New World Order takes over, or we got a new world of enlightenment. But you need to write down your part of it. It's going to be very important one day. Yep, they may be some of the biggest volume of it, like an encyclopedia with all the stuff that's going on. But write it down. Make your mark in the world. So one day, 100 years from now, somebody will know how you were thinking and what was going on and stuff. It's very important. The only way we can possibly prevent what's going on now, to take many, 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 many years and generations to happen again, because it will happen again. Human beings will never change. But as long as we got more history and more written down about how crazy things got now and how they got that way and the way people were thinking, maybe we'll get people to think twice for a few hundred years. Anyway, get your diary started. This is Lone Wolf Prepper. Out.